All
right, we're extra time for Green Genie. We're gonna try out some. I don't know. We'll just try out.
Private
Did you
stuff.
figure out what this was?
Yeah, it is.
Purple Rain.
No, it's sherbet.
Sherbet.
Which is a mix of sherbet pie, which is blue sherbet and grape pie.
Okay.
But it's his. He grows it himself.
Sticky.
I'm pretty sure he has a very small, very low key
It's already stickier than the shit.
Smells good.
It's stickier.
Yeah, I can kind of smell it.
Yeah, we can smell it.
So,
look at that!
We can smell it over your
So
seed.
I'm really interested because it's private. Oh, damn, you guys see? I think that's mine because I brought this shit.
Hey!
Can I put it on consignment? You can pop that bitch and put it in some soil. And
Later on, you get it.
Later on, we're going to taste that shit. Why you get so
pollinated.
many seeds?
It got pollinated, so you don't want to grow them.
So that's a problem then. We got it.
Unless he grows males.
Well, maybe he grows males. Maybe he likes the penis.
Well, that's a lot of seeds for that little bit.
It got pollinated. It may have pollinated itself and turned hermy.
But I can't smell it.
Fucking Hermes. This world coming to.
It's just Jesus, dude.
I'm excited though because this
Growing
particular
seeds in
stuff,
our
like,
weed.
there's no way I would get it other than the relationship that I had with the guy who has it. So it's awesome because it's from so far away and it's private, personal shit.
Oh, how far away?
Mio,
Oh, wow,
Mayo,
so
Creole,
far.
Not Mayo.
Cleo,
Mayo's in
Bio.
fucking south, dude. Cleo.
Clio?
Is it Clio or Cleo? I think it's Clio.
I intentionally don't try to remember shit. You ask me your name, I'm gonna name like 10
Did
dwarfs.
somebody just walk in?
Of the 7
it's Mike.
dwarfs.
Oh.
It's Mike.
Fuck out of here.
Up near Flint, though, ain't it?
I don't want to remember shit. It's in the thumb, I think. It's far as fuck though. So to work in Metro Detroit, man.
So we were talking
Dude,
about the
it's-
choice.
Dude must really love podcasts.
And the fact that this
Hey,
place,
listen to this one on your drive every day.
this Green Genie, has fucking so much choice. It's definitely a cover up. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh, you think so?
Buying bad
yeah,
weed.
it's like
Weed laundering. Basically.
No.
They keep
No.
buying bad weed, that's why it sits there and doesn't get
No,
sold.
they're not buying anything.
no, they have to get it all from the place now.
So I think you're just being
Growing bad
prejudiced
weed.
against Redford.
Or
you're
they're
just,
no.
you're just not down with
Okay,
the
now
West Side.
let's remember now. We can't really judge them too
Right.
deeply because they had a lot of choices. But when I ask you, and you're the bud tender, when I say give me your best top shelf, the best one.
And they went with the cosmic glue.
You
You're
know,
just thinking all the
did
way
they give
up.
you choices
Cosmic.
or
Like,
they-
Oh,
we're
she
gonna
brought.
send you to space.
I looked at 8 or 9.
You told us to
different
go to
guys.
fucking hat
You
on.
said give me the best. Did she bring out 2 or 3 or just one?
No, about 4 or 5.
Yeah, so like,
It probably
can't
was
all be
their
the
best.
best. Which one is the best? That's
I gave it an 8. It probably was their best.
It might have been, and if that's the case,
You gave it a
that's
6 and
sad.
you're
grow
hard as
better
fuck.
weed.
You're
That's
hard
I
as
what
fuck.
give their
saying.
best a 4.
At some
Yeah.
point, there's
You
gotta
got your,
be
like-
some like
I don't-
bottom, bottom top shelf. Like there has to always be like, okay, what's your best top shelf? Well, we've got a mid grade that is a top shelf.
Yeah, they
You
told me
know,
that.
and like shit like that where they're just playing it different, like a lotto, and not telling the masses,
Exactly.
just telling those that in the know. So it is smoker friendly for
Could it just be like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks?
That's exactly.
I'm gonna
what's
put
going on.
$50 out there, and the one that sells like crazy is gonna be our $60 special.
I vary.
No, they have tested.
Yeah.
No, I think they honestly, it's not about testers. I think it's look. I
So
think
is that like
everything to do with look.
authenticating?
I'm gonna tell you though,
They're
man.
gonna dictate
Mo-
what they pay for it.
Do the testers work for them?
Most
Yeah.
of the stuff that I saw were little
seems
teeny
like-
buds.
Seems like there's a spot.
Most
for
of those
independent
bottles had
agency
little
that
teeny
can
buds in them.
unbiased
And I asked her, I
test
said,
your
why
shit,
is there
right?
so many little teeny
So you can
buds?
see their rating too.
And I didn't really get a.
What's this called
That's what
again?
we're doing.
This is called sherbet pie.
Oh.
It's a mix sherbet and blueberry pie, I think. That sounds about right. Let's look this shit up.
Blue something.
Sherbet pie, blue sherbet, and grape pie.
Blue sherbet.
You ever hear of blue sherbet?
I've never heard that. Nope.
That's what they do out in Clio.
There's so many strains, man. You can't even go by that anymore.
You see this mitten in my hand? Out here in the thumb, they grow fucking sherberi pie.
You go.
And corn.
I don't even know. I could be completely wrong. You might live like 2 blocks from Jackson or some shit. Like, I don't even have no idea.
And he's gonna watch this thinking, what a fucking asshole.
It's funny. You asked me about the UP. I know all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
So
I don't even know where I live.
Yeah, Newberry? That's where my mom was raised.
Lots of people from Newberry at Lake State. Lots of kids from the UP up there because they didn't have to live there.
Before she died, that's where we went every year.
One of the coolest things about
At least
living in a
2 or
dorm
3
up there,
times.
as a city boy, the
Jesus,
country
Mike?
folk would like bring you their homemade maple syrup, or they'd tell you when they got a salmon cooking in the kitchen, because they'd be like, they impress the shit out of the city boy. So you're getting treated to like some badass shit, you know, like yeah, your mom's maple syrup really is the shit. Thank you. How much for it? You know. There's a girl up there who she was the fucking weed girl, and she was cool as hell, and the shit was cheap as fuck. And her story literally was
Cool as hell, cheap as fuck.
she was trying to become DNR, and her mom and dad were huge weed smokers and growers and cultivators up in the UP, but they didn't have anything for like any kind of other assistance for her, so they just gave her weed all the time. So she was going home, coming back with QPs, and then she was calling us because a bunch of boys from the fucking Metro Detroit area. She'd be like, well, what do I do with all this? So we'd start bagging shit and be like, this is $10 bag. This is $5
What do I
bag.
do with all
You
this?
know? Like, we're going to make 1,000 of these $10 bags. Fuck. She's like, shouldn't I just like try to sell it all at one time? Like, nope. Well, $500 or $2,000. You know? Girl was dog ugly, but one of my boys immediately started dating her. That was his bitch, dude, which was awesome. That was the way to do it. That was really good for him. He had his own little racket. He would sit behind the door. Freshman boys' parking was 5 miles from campus. They had a lot 5 miles away, and it was intentional. It was to make it difficult for you to be hammered and go to the car. It was to make you sit in the dorm room hammered, like, fuck going to the car, you know?
I hope this dude don't watch this. I didn't like that.
No?
It tastes too, that's what it tastes I don't like. I think it's because it's too much, there's not enough terpenes. It's too much plant matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of my
I
first
think
thoughts
the reason
looking
why
at
that
it,
happened is because of the seeds.
I thought it was very leafy. Did it look very leafy?
Yeah,
Not
it's
sure.
really
very well.
shit,
it's
but that's-
very leafy.
Did you
Whatever.
trim away a lot of
But
leaves,
some
or
stuff
was
is
smoking
like
a lot
that.
of that?
I took some of the leaf, but we still smoked a lot of it, and then there was a lot of, with the seeds, that means
Because that
that
affects taste a lot, doesn't it?
seeds affect taste.
Yeah,
Okay.
all day.
Because once it starts growing seeds, it stops worrying about catching
You
pollen.
did a good job of cleaning it up, though. That was a good feeling.
All
to
this
it.
fucking energy goes toward producing those seeds.
Yeah, so you stop
Making
losing
them mature,
terpenes,
they
you
stop
start
doing
losing
everything.
everything.
Especially, and the harder the seed is, the more that effect is.
Yeah,
Like that, huh?
yeah, I didn't, sorry.
This one here.
What'd you think?
I'm trying to get a second opinion right here, real quick.
That's almost like a third opinion, then.
Now it tastes a little like ash because some motherfucker tossed it in the ashtray.
Some said they didn't want no more.
There was 2 more people you could ask, bro.
You ain't asked
Bro.
me.
He's got a big one there.
You
ready
know
to
I
go.
always
Bro.
hit that shit.
You know he's got a big one over there.
I see
Yeah,
it in
well.
his
Is that the
hand.
same shit?
No.
No, he didn't give me that much.
Dang, dude.
Those are all seeds.
You tell some dang dude.
Too many seeds, man.
It wasn't that bad. I thought it was not that bad.
The super fucking critical 5-some here.
What
And
do you
Mike.
expect, man?
Mike thought it wasn't that bad. He's not a super critical asshole. Rudy, thank you for not giving an opinion. Sometimes better just
I
keep
tried
things
to be
yourself.
honest. I'm not lying about it. You
no,
want me to
for
lie?
sure. Let's do numbers then. You want to give it an average? You want to give it a score? No? Okay.
It's going to be really
Yeah,
low.
it stung.
All right, let's go. So, there's no one to market there. There's no one to advertise for, so we're not killing sales or anything.
It was listen.
I mean, if you're, I get it. If you're growing for yourself, and you know,
I get it, man.
but you got to be.
Some territories are better known for what they do with cows than what they do with wheat.
Well, no,
You know?
it's just you know.
You just gotta
he
pick
had
out your
seeds.
males.
You should probably
I'm
look
sure
for
he
fucking
wasn't
mushrooms
passing
on
out
cow
buds
pies.
thinking there was seeds in it. You know,
Right.
For sure.
full grown seeds too. They're not like premium.
Well, like I told you, I was
That's why I've been
surprised.
had substance to it.
Yeah.
We have been running into each other, long distance,
But
type
you know-
thing, and I just said, "Hey, I got a nug for you," and he's like, "Oh, I got some shit I grew myself. Check it out." And it was really cool. And I was
Maybe
like,
it's
"Hey."
outdoor stuff.
So I was excited.
Like-
So,
No, that was
so my
not
hopes
good.
were a little high. I was
That
excited.
wasn't outdoor.
Huh?
Be too early for
I'm not sending him a fucking link to this video now, though.
No, that
That's
one
one less
has been so
subscription.
dry.
So if you're watching this, subscribe for that dude.
A year?
Some karma retribution.
Yeah, you can, but
Yeah, if you got a
you know it was
identifier,
old.
like
So
You
do we
gotta
know a
know
name
it's
on
old.
this stuff? Do we have a name for this?
It's just cog.
COG.
We've already reviewed it. We don't have to review it again.
we're
I
just
was just
smoking.
smoking and talking.
You all right over there?
I figured this one will get
Yeah, I
you
got a
high and
cog
you'll
in my
start really
lungs.
going soon.
Yeah.
You can tell that the weed hasn't been good. Braden's only
Oh
at
my
like
God.
3 words per
Yo,
minute.
I am not at the house right now.
When the weed's really good,
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
up to like 15 words a minute.
Alright, bro.
A second.
I don't even want to pass this one.
You want to keep it
Yeah.
and just smoke it all?
Yeah, just roll another one, dude. I'll give you $5 shit.
So I guess that's the end of the official reviews.
Yes, I think
What's
so.
this what we got there?
3.
I guess that's how it's
Not
rolling.
cool for
I
school.
forgot. I had something to bring, and I forgot.
That's not what
Oh, damn. Well, I'm glad I brought something. I feel like I helped out. I contributed, I'm part of the team.
We got some extra time.
I'm sorry if I gave you guys
Team
headaches.
player, team player.
As Cut would say.
I want to find a good
No
dispensary
bueno.
though. I think I want
No
to try
way.
Flint.
You try
Heading
what?
out to Flint Town. What about Lansing? Lansing has a street,
Ann Arbor's
Red
pretty
Street
good,
or
too.
some shit, but they have a street that's just all their dispensaries. It's like their 8 Mile.
I know a woman that owns one of those dispensaries. What is her name?
First night I was down there, I was working for a couple weeks, and the first night I stayed the night there, I ended up driving around downtown.
Do
I
you
parked in
remember-
front of like a little league baseball or a minor
She
league
used to come
baseball
down
game.
to,
In front of the Capitol
club
building, smoked
down-
a joint,
downtown?
on the street races.
and she used
It's
to bring
pretty
a,
sweet.
she used to bring a big old locker full of bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember her?
Sunset over the
It
Capitol.
was a black guy with her name Bud Tender Tony or some shit like
Why
that.
couldn't he just be Bud Tender Tony? Why's he got to be a black guy?
What the
I was
fuck?
just
He's painting a picture,
identifying
bro.
him for you,
What's his name,
motherfucker.
Tyrone?
Why's it got to be a problem?
Yeah, I
He's
was
a black guy.
identifying for you.
Hey, what's his name, Tyrone?
What was his name? Tyrone.
Get
Yeah, it
the
was.
fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was. No, it was Leroy.
I don't know.
It was Leroy.
One of the kind of ignorant things in
If we're
society,
gonna be
though,
black, let's be all the way black.
There are-
Leroy.
there are plenty of statements that are racist as fuck and should not be said. But if someone says, "Hey, is that blah 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 right there?" and the other guy goes, "Who, the black guy?" Like, we shouldn't be mad if that
But
comes out
see, I know
someone's
a
mouth. 'Cause
Tyrone.
that type of
He's
shit.
a white guy.
You just-
If there's only one white dude around and a black dude goes, "Who, the white guy?" Like, he's beating, he's getting to the point.
right.
There's no digging around. You instantly know who you're
I
talking
was
about.
just
when
being
there's-
funny. I
But-
wasn't
What'd you
trying
say
to.
about
But
that?
do you ever not find it amusing when you're talking
I
to
base my
your
reaction
friend
on how other
about
people
a
react.
white guy and you're like, you
white
know,
guy.
you know that guy. Like he comes over and he was here and you've got no fucking descriptive feature. Like,
Besides that guy.
yeah.
However you react to it, I base my opinion on if I'm for or against how you react to it.
All right.
You know?
That makes sense, I guess.
I
you
don't
feel that.
really. Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? That's 10 days. Not even, or just over 10 days.
I know.
That's
I
been dry
I
for
never
10 days.
mean to
Yeah.
offend.
Well, that's because it's been real
so
humid.
if I do
Yeah.
offend, I always
For sure.
What I'm saying
It
is,
should have been dry
I
by now.
understand and
But I
relate.
mean,
I am of the
I
belief
forgot.
as a
No,
white
no,
man that white men tend
Yeah,
to
'cause
be
that's-
accidentally
I don't think
offensive
it's-
often.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
we're likely raised by
I
offensive
think it
people
was
too.
drier the other day.
Wait,
though.
wait.
My dad.
Where are you drying this
Offensive
at?
motherfucker.
in the closet.
I'm
It just
Mexican
got
and
wet
I know
again
I
because
offend
of
the
the
white
stuff.
man all the time.
It's in there. There's a bunch of fresh weed in there.
Right. Exactly.
But either way, it doesn't get that dry. You get what I'm saying? It's not like super dry to where we have to worry about it. You can literally,
It's not wintertime.
it's not gonna be popping off. Yeah.
Wintertime, everything's fucking dry in here.
Fucking menthol. This fucking thing is menthol.
The heat. No, man, it's Jack.
Yeah, I will say I thought it tasted better last
You
time.
guys keep saying menthol. Ooh,
This is cog.
Yeah, it tastes great.
Do you never smoke cigarettes?
no.
It's like cool, like soothing, like hits the back top of your fucking mouth. And
But I don't get
it's like
menthol.
you feel the air, you're feeling the breeze.
I don't get menthol.
No,
Like a menthol cigarette.
How would you describe
I
menthol?
I use the
yeah.
mint.
I love
Mint.
menthol.
Let's use our
Minty.
words.
It ain't menthol.
No, I didn't mess up.
You ever smoke a menthol cigarette?
It's
A
lemon.
woman's cigarette?
It's lemon, man. It's like
A
lemon,
Newport?
lemongrass, a lemon play.
Isn't that
Mine.
Isn't that a hood cigarette? Newport.
Newports.
That's what my mom said.
No, the king of the
Soft
hood
pack.
cigarettes is cool.
Really?
Yeah, they're cheaper.
Yeah, I would think so.
Cheaper than.
Always has been for years and
They're the
years.
strongest.
My mom smokes those Salem's. They're definitely a chick cigarette.
I can't believe cool.
Like
is
4 or 5
Virginia
grand.
Virginia
Slim.
Slims.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
chick on
Yeah,
that.
Virginia Slim.
They're
I
definitely
mean,
around still.
I don't know about now, but
Misty
you know, back in the
120.
day it was all
Oh,
about
there you
cool.
go. There you
Still
go.
up for my
My
yeah.
mom, my mom.
But most
used
of
to
my
smoke
friends
those,
don't smoke
but she's trying
anymore.
to cut back.
No.
Those were good,
The only
man.
people that really smoke cigarettes now
They're thin as
mostly
fuck,
are
right?
women.
I might like
Women smoke more cigarettes
With
than
all
men
these
now.
vapes and
Probably
shit,
more healthy
can we
than
get
smoking
older
them,
people, can we get them like an oxygen mask that they can, you know, temporarily shoot some fucking vape into?
Yeah,
Like
probably.
over here, I'm just gonna
Nowadays.
roast a little bit and do this dab, you know?
No, they
I'll
no.
fucking drop out
weed
in this
vape?
oxygen
No,
mask.
they
But
just
they'll be alright because that oxygen mask is
no,
hooked to their fucking
no. They'll
nose.
have to just eat it. They'll have to eat it, man. They can't
Oh, that's
smoke
Cut.
it.
true.
You want
Yeah,
that?
eating it.
They'll have to
Okay.
eat it.
For 'em.
Yep, that's the way to do
It'll
it for
last
sure.
longer,
And
too.
But you know,
control
they're,
your dose better too.
I was reading that they're doing the stem cell thing
Yeah,
with the lungs now, and they're
Start
curing
small.
curing lung
Yeah.
disease by
Yeah,
using
get your
stem
microdose.
cells.
Yeah, start small. Yeah. There was a guy when I was watching all this psilocybin talk in Denver. There was a young guy who said he treats his depression, but he never tries to trip. He just microdoses.
Yeah.
So every day he takes a gram, and the whole idea is to like always have some psilocybin, like kicking the edge
Gram
off
is
that
too
depression.
much.
Yeah,
That's not
gram
a
is way too
microdose.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe it's throughout the day. Maybe
No,
it's a
no,
little
no.
bit
You
here.
just take,
Because we've done research
I
on
don't know the
it.
definition
We've
of
done
this shit.
research.
Well,
We've
we-
done it.
Yeah, what you do is you have to, and it's every 2 days. You do it 1, 2, take a day off, 1, 2, because after
Okay.
third day you don't feel
You
it.
So it's like being on the pill.
And you're supposed to take
Throw that
enough
placebo in
that
there.
you don't actually feel
Does
it,
he eat a real mushroom every other day?
but it unlocks your. If you do it right, it unlocks the fucking ego.
Man.
How does
So you
that
don't-
work? How did you
So
feel?
ego death,
Oh, I've had ego death.
where you're
every
supposed
time.
to be.
The first day we took too much, that's for sure. I was tripping.
Yeah.
Supposed to be like.
Ego death is beautiful.
When you
It's
say
my
you
favorite
talk about
shit ever.
shrooms.
Yes.
Now, when you say you were tripping, what do you mean when you say that?
The problem
What do you
with
consider
ego death
tripping?
is If you're a religious
Mad
man,
body buzz and like,
You won't be.
you are
I
God.
don't know, man.
Oh,
like the feeling you get.
Are
from
you
it.
hallucinating, or
No,
you
definitely not.
you're just having feelings?
Yeah.
I've never really.
Just a feeling.
The world
Yeah.
is world
You're
is more
Mexican.
I'm gay.
vibrant
I was raised
and
Catholic.
You just
moving more.
Okay.
Feel it, man.
If that makes
But
sense.
Mexicans
I
are
don't,
more
I don't
Catholic.
believe in religion per se, but I
Energy,
believe in,
you can feel energies.
God.
you
Like all that
feel
hippie
You,
People
you buy
positive.
into this particular version.
Because I've
of the
definitely
story
been
of Jesus
sitting at a
Christ?
table with two people
It's like the
tripping, and one was
500
Lou.
version.
And when you trip with
It's
Lou,
been
it's
happening for
awesome.
millions of years.
Because he's like
I believe.
Happy.
You believe
You're
in
animated.
people that say,
animated,
"Yeah,
happy,
fake
always
this
good
bullshit."
time. And then
And give
his
these
ex-girlfriend
guys money,
Sandra was
probably.
not having a good trip.
You-
So
you
I'm
buy
sitting
into
at a
the
table
current
like
power
this,
structure, the current
and
chains
when
that
I'm
shackle
over here at him,
you know?
dude, it's like
It's like,
the
yeah.
world is
You know
the greatest
what?
thing.
This cur-
And
alright,
as my
here's the
gaze
fucked up
Why are
would
they
come
the
to
richest
about
motherfuckers
right
on
here,
Let me
I
tell
could
you
start
this,
to
though.
feel the
The
energy
religious
change
this
to
religious
like, oh my god, I don't
structure,
want to be
yeah,
over
bro.
here. And it was
got
literally
golden city,
just
This
looking.
religion
Just
me
my
and
gaze happened to focus on that side of the table where
The
she
box
was
that you live in
and her
wouldn't
energy
be
was,
just
and
as
I
if they were
absorbed
in
whatever the
existence.
fuck
You could be
her
free.
anger, and it was
You
like,
still
nope,
not like-
let me go back over here.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah,
I
yeah.
have always
It's
Shackled.
like, god damn, she's killing me. She gotta get out of here. This bitch is taking up too much room.
She wasn't tripping.
If you didn't have God,
No, she was
involved
tripping.
with yourself,
Yeah,
you'd
she wouldn't
actually
have a good
feel
trip.
guilty for doing terrible
She's
things, and you'd be
she's
less likely to
she's
be
got
a piece of shit.
especially at that
To do
time.
all the terrible
She
things you
was
want,
stealing
and
from
go
mom
trip
and
on
shit,
Sunday
so
and
she,
say,
you know,
I was terrible.
If you're a bad
Forgive
person,
me. I
doing
love you,
acid
man.
will make you
It'll bring-
realize,
Going to heaven
make you
again.
Make you
realize
see.
how shitty of a person
It'll
you
make
are.
you see your negativity.
Yeah,
People
and
who
you
believe
won't.
that,
And some
Not in
people
a
can't.
way,
going to heaven.
not in a way that actually.
I don't do terrible
Some
things,
people it
but
helps,
I know
but
that I
most
wouldn't be
people
able to
can't
deal
see
with
it for
guilt.
what it really is.
So I prevent myself
People,
from
people that have a
doing
real strong
shit by not
ego,
being shitty.
they can't control that.
No, they can't.
And they see themselves as a negative
Self-sacrifice is
thing.
huge, though.
Certainly.
And it gets to them. And
If they see it as
Very
themselves,
key.
that would be better, but they don't. They see it as just a negative force
yeah, those,
outside themselves.
those that don't understand.
Yeah, that don't understand.
Yeah,
and that's
don't
part of the
understand.
problem. If
Yeah.
we could get people to take multiple doses so they could start to feel and understand why. 'Cause
That's why some people freak out. And
In
some
my
people
experience,
don't.
I was very, very happy. Like no matter what.
But see,
You
I
wouldn't-
only like it
I
during
don't
the
think
day,
you
though.
would be
I don't like
now.
it at night.
I
No.
think it depends on who you're
You
with.
got beat
Yeah,
down.
what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know,
I had to be people I
situation.
like.
And
But
who you're around.
I had an
It's not even
experience where
it's
my
just
brother and I
about-
took mushrooms and we hated each other at the time. And we've always hated each other. We hate each other more now than ever. But at that time, we had like a real good, deep conversation, and we were both very happy, and we were like laughing about shit because we were both tripping balls, and I wanted to have no shoes on and be running around.
I've never laughed on mushrooms.
Oh, I've
Oh,
laughed so hard.
I feel like I'm like when I'm looking around, I feel like I'm looking at the chemical compound of everything. Like makes me feel like I understand
That's
everything.
it.
6 or 7, but I always take like an 8 or
You're
more.
doing too much. Yeah.
Caps.
I do them all. I do the whole bag.
Dude, one
Too
time
much. That's
I was
why
with
you're
my
not-
friend over in
Too deep.
Ann Arbor, right?
mhm.
And we all did mushrooms. It was, and these people are all professionals. Like the people that own the house. We're in a neighborhood in Ann Arbor, downtown Ann Arbor, like a little neighborhood just off of downtown. It's like 10 minutes from downtown, walking, and everyone in this neighborhood is probably some kind of professional
that's down.
somewhere or something dealing with dealing with the hospital and the school and all that shit, right?
Mhm.
He is a lead anesthesiologist or some shit like that at U of M. She deals with, just got through
Wow, that's
school at that
huge.
time, yeah. So they're like real
They run the risk of
professionals.
killing people every single time they do their job.
Yeah, and they both did it. My other friend, she's a therapist and she deals with mentally handicapped adults and tries to help
Sounds
them.
like super high stress jobs.
Oh, they are. And the one girl was a sister who had just dealt with some, like, completely made an ass of herself in front of her ex-husband or some shit like that. Did some crazy fucking, I don't know what the fuck she did. But whatever she did, she ended up the whole night sitting in the fucking room crying. And her sister and the other girl had to be, like, super fucking, they tried to be, like, super calm, and it just wasn't working.
It wasn't
for them.
working.
You can't
Like,
hold on.
no, you can't, but they
Yeah,
were
it's the
trying
worst thing
to
you can do.
hold on for her. And I'm fucking just dying. Like, I'm laughing because at this time,
Was it
I just
nighttime?
dealt with some shit. I was heartbroken. Someone just broke my fucking heart. So I should have been crying just like she was. But for some reason, I did the exact, like, all the emotion I felt came out in laughter instead of tears. And I tried to explain to her that as I'm talking to her, to, like, you gotta understand, like, maybe try to flip it, like, because and she just couldn't understand. And I was with Alan, because my trip was with Alan, because we had done actually like an 8th, and he was like having a great time, you know what I'm saying? And he was just making me, he was the funniest dude on the planet for some reason that day. Every time he
For
did
some
anything, I just fucking died. And they were getting, like, it was frustrating because I'm having the greatest fucking time,
yeah.
and they're having the shittiest fucking
And they're
time.
looking at you like, what the fuck?
How are you having such a good time? And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm trying, and we had to leave multiple times. They didn't want us walking around the neighborhood because they were afraid we were going to do something stupid.
All the walls would be moving, the ground would be breathing.
And nothing of that shit happened. It wasn't,
You'd
they
be
weren't
seeing
weren't
demons.
fucking demon mushrooms. They were more just happy, like,
Yeah.
uplifting. In my mind, they were
That's the
uplifting.
Amsterdam mushroom.
I've
you're
always
talking
been
about.
happy.
I can't
Street
imagine
food.
taking
We got
good
them from a
mushrooms.
guy got them from
Huh?
K-Pax.
I can't imagine taking
Looking
good
for-
mushrooms.
Good mushrooms, what do you
patties.
mean?
Happy ones. Like, that would be so fucking weird to, like,
Because you've not been in a
That's how
happy place.
psilocybin reacts with me.
I've done them all throughout my life,
I
though.
think he could just take a.
Touche.
Touche on that. But no, I'm sure, like, it really depends on the mindset because you got to understand.
Well, what's acid do to you?
Acid is fine. Acid, I walk around in acid.
Do you
It's,
disassociate like you would with mushrooms? 'Cause
Acid-
mushrooms, you're
acid's
gonna,
all-
like disassociate.
acid's all visual. Mushrooms, this world doesn't even exist. You aren't even here.
yeah,
yeah.
you go in a hole.
I'm
What's wrong with that shit?
I'll open my eyes and I'll be like, don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Take a half of 8.
That's safe,
Damn.
though.
Well, what's wrong with that? That's what some people
The
actually
difference
strive for.
For me,
I
between
strive for
acid
that.
and mushrooms,
That's
everyone
not
you're
what
with
I'm
can be
going
on
for.
mushrooms. On acid, you want somebody who's not. You want somebody who's not, so that like if Johnny picks up an axe and starts walking towards Sarah, you tackle Johnny and put the axe away.
I guess I get that.
I can't see that.
Like you
happening,
guys
though.
enjoy that. I'm
No.
gonna be over here
Yeah.
drinking
Now,
coffee.
let me tell you.
You take enough acid.
I've taken acid at least 300 or 400 times.
If you want to fuck, you
I've
gotta go in the
worked
room.
it.
I made sure there's no
At
weapons.
concerts, I worked what they call the trip tent. When people were tripping out,
Yeah, the
we
bad
would
trips.
take them in this tent, help them out,
Give them
know.
water and a
So
cigarette.
I saw all kinds of shit. I saw people do like this craziest shit you could ever imagine.
Spasms,
But see, acid,
hallucinate.
man-made synthetic
Good weed
hallucinogens are totally different from mushrooms or peyote. It's a whole different ball game.
Acid's naturally occurring though.
But it's been synthesized.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but if
acid
you go out there and
that
eat
I've
the fungus off the
taken
corn,
is
it'd do the
nothing
same
like
thing.
the
No,
acid.
it
of
won't,
the
man.
dead.
Yeah, it is, because that's what happened, how they discovered it.
I'm trying to tell you, yes, but after they discovered it, they took it into a laboratory and they did shit to it to make it stronger. You understand what I'm saying?
It's more condensed and more concentrated.
'Cause that
It's not
LSD
stronger, though.
The LSD 25 or 2.5, whatever you want to call it, that Osley was making for Timothy Leary.
Did you manage that
Sunshine
fucking guy, the guy
or-
that discovered it, and how because the dude that discovered it was working with it no gloves.
Yeah, it was an accident.
Yeah,
It
and
was
he fucking
totally an accident.
rode his bike home.
Yeah.
He's lucky,
And trip balls.
but
Oh
see,
man,
How
was-
much was his dose?
but he was a deep motherfucker because a lot of people would have thought they were going crazy and they would have done something who knows what. So the guy was really level-headed
Yeah.
to maintain.
Something.
Well, how do you come across?
Because
that?
I'm
He's a
telling you,
scientist, right?
he was
run home from
making,
the
he was
lab.
working on
Fungus.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you,
Uh,
that stuff was when that stuff is pure, you see vivid hallucinations. I mean, you see a guy walk out of the basement, walk over there and walk through the wall. The walls be breathing. Oh.
This one dude
That's
was sitting
funny.
next to me when we were young, right? The only time one of the few times I did actual acid. He's sitting here, and I see him do this. Whoa, what the fuck?
like something.
All right.
Jumped up and
You
down.
saw something go through the roof.
Whatever, sitting there again. And then he fucking did it again. He goes, whoa, fuck this, I'm out. Got up and literally just left. And then we didn't talk to him
Like
until the next
standard
day,
practice.
or 2 days later, and found out he goes, a shark came through one side of the fucking, came up
A shark.
through one
Holy
side of the
shit.
fucking,
Yeah.
came out of the fucking curtain, and like came around and then went right back into the
Yeah.
curtain twice. He walked around his
He's gotta get the
house.
fuck out of there.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go. And he
I'm
left.
staying in land. If I see water, I'm out.
Dude, I can't imagine.
Like
'cause I
sharks
didn't-
like curtains apparently. No curtains.
Alright, so I had a bad trip on acid back when I was 19 years old, right?
Get a hotel room. Be like, I need a room
This
with no
is
curtains.
98.
Take them out.
2 hits of gel tabs. I take the first hit, everyone's with us. We got we got 2,
Why do you take 2?
4, so like 7 people including me, right? Two of the people that took the gel tabs, one of them was like, I don't feel good, I'm gonna go to sleep. The other one was like, yeah, I'm tired too. He went to sleep. So 2 people went to sleep. The other 4 people decided that they're gonna go get the weed because they forgot the weed on the other side of town. I live in Holly, which is this little ass town, and they're probably, I'd say, a mile away at the most,
Wow, that
right?
close?
Yeah, they're not very
Still
far.
walking though?
No, they drove.
Oh.
They drove their car over there, right? And this is just after me and the other guy took our second hit of gel tabs.
Took the second hit.
Yeah,
Second
the first
hit.
one didn't kick in yet?
The first one had kicked in, but it was just like happy-go-lucky, like a good wave.
Yeah.
How long did you ride the wave? An hour?
Was shit breathing yet? Because like everything starts breathing.
So
That's
I don't know how long it took for
There's
them
like
to
a
leave.
pulse that you're
but
kind
when
of
they
working
left-
with. You're operating with them.
Tom,
You
you're so
know.
Take
rational.
more.
You're so rational.
So they left,
Another
right?
fucking-
And they're gone, and I'm trying to watch Grumpier Old Men.
All right.
Yeah, they're
You know what I'm
Safe.
saying? Trying to,
Sound like
thought it'd be
old man
funny.
over there.
Solid.
And then I
How
start
long
getting
did
that
you wait,
anxiety, that bubbly gut, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta
Yeah,
poop.
now it's real
Still been
coming.
watching
Shit.
Fantasia.
Oh man. Now again, at this time, 2 other people who had taken a hit of gel tabs are sleeping in the house, in their own room.
How do you go to sleep on that?
I,
I don't think they
They
were
must-
sleeping. They were just.
they were in their room doing what they did. So I go into the bathroom. This bathroom has fake marble paneling, and then it has wallpaper up, and it's just a small little ass bathroom, and a house in Holly. And I look at the wall, and it's white marble with like blue lines that go through it, the marble lining, and it kind of like waved out at me, like came off the wall, 3D-ish,
Sorry,
and then
breathing.
no, not breathing, just
Waving?
waved there for a second, and then it all fell in a pile
Oh shit!
What?
on the ground.
Shit.
Like the wall was white,
Yeah.
and all the
I've seen
lines
stuff melt.
Fell on the floor.
were on the floor.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out, so I sat down and I was freaking out because I don't have a
Trying to
lot of
pick
leg
'em up.
hair. But that when you're on mushrooms and acid and you get the wave look, like in the grass and everything looks like it's kind of growing, but it's not really growing. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
Just kind of melts.
that's what my legs were doing, which is freaking me the fuck out. I'm all by myself. I can't figure out why this is happening. I don't know that you can't die off 2 hits of gel tabs. In my head, I'm an 80s kid, so I was raised on.
Yeah.
And on top of that, my dad was like a super conservative, super anti-drug, super anti-everything.
Ding
And
ding 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 ding.
that shit
ding.
kills you. Like 2 hit.
Holly with the super
So
secret.
I'm freaking out. I can't handle this. I want to go. I want to go where they're at. I need to be away from people. I need to be around people. I need people to. And I'm calling the people that calling my friend on his phone or whatever over there, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not coming back." They're like, they decided they didn't want to leave down. They're just going to chill here. But you can come over there. I'm like, no, I'm not walking. Drive the car. No. And at this time, I had a warrant for not showing my license. Because in Holly, they fucked with you when you were a kid. They
So
just
you don't
like,
be
if you-
walking around.
No, I didn't want to
You
walk
got
around.
to know the law.
They fucked with me already. So if I had walked that mile from one side to the other, I can't guarantee that I'm not getting pulled over for walking.
Tripping balls.
Like, it happened a lot when I was young.
That's a
So
bitch.
I'm not walking, and I know I have a warrant, and I can't. I'm not driving the car because I'm fucking tripping balls. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I start watching. There's an cartoon called Top Cat. I don't know when it's from, but it's about a cat that had a top hat on that was in an alley. And he was the top cat of all these cats. But I just remember him frame by frame, like every fucking frame. I never saw fluid motion anymore. It was just...
Tick, tick,
And I'm like, come on, why is this happening? What is going on? I'm freaking out. My heart's starting to race more. I'm starting to get more freaked out. They're not answering me in the rooms. They won't fucking talk to me. These guys over here won't come and get me. He's seeing cars go through the fucking room.
Same dude who saw the sharks go through.
No, different. My
Oh.
friend that took the other hit. He's like,
Oh,
dude, a
dude.
car just went through the fucking kitchen.
Like,
And
I'm in
they're
a haunted
not.
house.
They're
and
not.
it's
They're in
mine.
an apartment where there's a main road, but the main road's on the other side of. They're on the back side of the building.
Reflection.
No, there's no reflections. You can't see reflections. So
no
it was-
cars should be going through
There's no
there.
cars going through. So I'm freaking the fuck out, losing my mind, thinking if I fall asleep, I'm gonna die. I literally thought if I fell asleep, my heart was gonna stop. Like in my head, my thought was my brain controls my heart, and
If my brain's
Acid-
in trouble, my heart's in
well,
trouble.
in my head, acid controls
The
like
one
lets you
side that got
control
a bunch
things
of
into your
keys.
brain.
Hold on, the little side's got a bunch of keef.
Don't spill the
Oh, is that
key,
the little
man.
side?
Yeah, that's yeah.
You're dumping the key now.
What are you
Tighten that
doing?
shit back
I
up.
wanted
Yeah.
to check it out.
He's trying to pour the key fell on the floor.
Oh. Anyway,
I
so
thought this was on the bottom.
Yeah.
I thought if
That's
my brain
how
in my head, my brain was contrling my heart,
Tighten the bottom
and my
up, the
brain
bottom
was
must be the key.
It is.
like because of the acid in super control. Like
I know how. What
if I go to sleep, my brain's gonna shut off, which means my heart's gonna shut off, which means I'm just gonna die in my sleep. So I can't do that. But I
That's
need to
what you
sleep.
thinking.
I'm trying to sleep because I
It's
want to
only
get
like
the
2
fuck out of
weeks,
this
but
because
it's
it's not
much
weed.
by my
Weed, I can just like breathe for 5 seconds, then come the fuck down and be okay. This I can't. It's just not letting me calm the fuck down. These 2 girls show up that we had give gel tabs earlier. They weren't allowed over because Mark, the dude I was with, was mad at them. So they were not supposed to come over. Well, they had showed up like in the nick of time. Right? Showed up right before I start really freaking out. And they're like, yeah, we've been driving around the block. Because there's a block that they drove around in downtown. They drove around the same block for like 2 hours. And they figured they better go somewhere else or they would get in trouble. Because they were tripping just as bad as I was. So we end up playing Strip Go Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, strip, go fish.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how to play poker, so we had to play go fish. That was
Out
the
in
only card
Holly
they
with
knew.
all the conservatives, varsity
Yeah.
blue stop.
Well,
Let's get the
I got
bitches topless.
their tops off,
Yeah. Check.
and then I lost. And and I was.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And I tried to get them into the
They were
shower.
conning you. They
That
had no
did not
problem
work.
showing
That
you.
wasn't
their
happening.
That did not happen. I failed on that aspect.
They're tripping too hard.
Yeah, it was.
You,
we
st-
both
you
were.
stopped thinking about
They were just
dying.
fucking with you. They weren't fucking
Yeah,
with you.
I
that
started thinking
shit
about
went
that.
away.
But then even when I went laid down in the bed, I just remember the patterns being kind of 3D still. And I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. And then I went and picked up him like an hour or two later after I got a cat nap. And for some reason, this dude got mad at me. And this guy that had eventually killed somebody, he's some fucking, I don't forget who the fuck he was, but he eventually killed another guy and went to jail for life.
Damn.
Yeah, and he was threatening
pissed off at you?
Yeah, threatening to kick my ass over. I don't even know what the fuck it was. It was something to do with
Well, just because he killed one
Mark.
guy, you're
It was
scared.
something to do with the guy I was picking up because I picked him up.
There's
or
lots of
something.
dudes on this earth
We
who
live
killed
in
one guy.
Detroit.
You should not be
This
afraid
didn't all
of.
No,
happen
no,
on
no.
the same night, was it?
Yes.
He killed somebody on that
No,
night?
no, he didn't kill anyone. No,
That would totally
He
fuck
killed
my
someone
trip right
years later. He was in, like, I heard he went to jail. Like,
up. I ain't never took acid and made me fucking hallucinate.
but at the same time, I didn't know what acid
Visual.
was. No one had ever talked to
Yeah,
me
get
about it.
visual.
If I had other people there to help me cope
Now,
through the
mescaline?
flow, I would have been
fucking
fine. But I was all by myself, not knowing what this was,
Yeah.
and thinking I
You
was
gotta
going
be
to
in a
die.
safe place. You gotta be safe with people you know.
And I was also
It was
really afraid of death at that
Michael
time.
Apps.
So
Microdose is
acid will bring out your biggest
Oh,
fears.
yeah.
And the whole time, I just
So
thought
the
I was
closest
going
thing
to
to
die.
a bad trip I've ever had was on acid. It
I
wasn't even
know
that
where
bad.
it came from.
But I jumped up on a sink in a bathroom and I was trying to. I thought I could enter my body through my mouth. I was gonna check myself out.
to get you high.
It's aluminum foil for the cat.
I'm telling you, it's my claim.
There's a little bit of
That's
foil.
on
cat.
Airwood, bro.
Oh, okay.
But my
What?
sober buddy
I
just
took
pulled me
out
off
the
the
same
sink and
thing.
put me in a different place.
25 years ago
well.
And
when I did it.
apparently I was
Yeah,
under
me
the
too.
impression
thought
I was
the
gonna
same
climb
things. I was
into my
getting
body
those
through my
microdots,
mouth.
and I thought it
But I was just like
they
smashing
told
my
me.
face into a
I
mirror
found out
standing on top of
later,
us.
you can't fit
Damn.
enough liquid into a
It's close
microdot.
to a bad trip I've had. I've never really had bad trips. Like I go to positive places, but
I've
it's
never
been
had
a
a
long
bad
time
trip.
since I
I've had some monster trips.
Bad trips, there's no
But
bad
never
Acid
had
is
a
more
trip.
fun for me because
No,
acid is
because
like
acid
totally
fucking
you're
gets your
disassociated
stomach
from reality.
Bad trips are just trips that you need to, that are you're afraid to face. They're fears
Mescaline I
and
didn't really like when I was locked up. It made me
What?
think that I
Bad
could hear every
trips.
because
conversation.
you probably don't have any
Super
fears you're
paranoid.
not faced before in your life.
That's
Did
not
you
what
just
it's
go?
great.
You're from the stories I hear, you're the type of person that kind of just did what you didn't have. If there was a fear, you went
Well, they say
into
that
it.
it's a bleeding out.
And
Yeah, I mean, I had fear of going to jail and shit like that.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
but,
that's not what I mean. I
Because
mean,
people
like
have,
deep
like,
fears
But
of.
see,
What
a
is
part
it?
of that
What
is that
So what is it? How does it
when I
work?
did that stuff,
LSD?
Yeah, how-
nobody really knew about it. It was new.
Yeah. No.
You
Yeah,
understand?
you didn't have a fear put in you as a child that you
Exactly.
could die from
Exactly.
one snort of cocaine,
Exactly.
one hit of acid, one
Exactly.
puff of cannabis will kill you.
I mean,
Because my buddy.
Yeah, but
I watched.
I did. I
More right to
smoked
teach your
weed.
kid that one
he was
hit
a-
of
he was a
acid
fucking- he was
could
a
open you.
chemist for the University of Michigan.
Yeah, I would teach my kids if I had one that acid is
When
it's
they're
not
old
something-
enough.
It's not something to fuck with, but it's actually something that you could use.
It's therapeutic
To
if it's
see
used in
the
a
world
Tell
proper
them your
way.
brain
way.
stops
If you
developing
like to
around
make it, I guess
35.
the
At
investment
36,
he had.
I'll be okay with you doing any drug you
That's what I
want.
read. And I, the same thing. Like, I was like, I had.
I'm not gonna lock
silly.
you up till you're
All right,
25.
folks.